Hello and welcome. My name is Hannah, and I thought it might be fun to go through my first sketchbook with you guys. I had really a lot of fun trying to make that. My fingers, that was fun. I have one sticker on the back. I designed this for my husband. He is a hobby machinist. He's like the coolest person that I know. He wanted it to be very minimalistic. It says WMW with a little knife in the middle. He loves it so much, and that's really all that matters to me. So first page this was all my favorite characters of TV shows and video games that I watched my husband play. So every time that I was going through the pages and I wanted to draw somebody, I would come back to this page and then add one at a time. This is supposed to be Keanu Reeves, or I thought it was Keanu Reeves. It's totally not. This sketchbook took me through October 24 to June 25. This first page, by the way, I'm gonna be going really fast because there's a lot of pages to get through and I don't wanna absolutely talk your ear off, so we're gonna go kind of fast. This was just a perspective. This is my husband and my dog. This one was a lot of fun. These are my 3 kids. This one was the first robot that I drew and I love him so much. This one I was practicing how far I could get in a certain time frame. So each one of these is about 10 minutes. I tried to draw her really fast. She's actually my favorite. I like her expression the most. This was the start of 100 Heads Challenge. I have a separate video on that if you want to check these out. Yeah, more 100 heads. This one is kind of a Mod Podge of stuff. I started practicing like positions because this page made me feel like really like I needed to work on the flowy movement of people, and so I was trying to practice that. And a ninja run. This was my kids on Halloween eating their candy in front of a Halloween movie. This is my husband. He's always there. So I always draw him. Some more poses. And another robot. This one I followed a YouTube tutorial on how to get proportions right because I felt like I couldn't ever get anything exactly right. I ended up coming back a few months later and was like, oh my goodness, his shoulders should not be this high. I'm gonna lower them now that I know what I know now that I've been practicing. Some more 100 heads. More 100, this guy is, I love him so much. This page is the first page where I was like, oh my goodness, I can make the whole page actually look really cool and not just have one picture be cool. So that was exciting. I like her and her the most. This was 100 heads. This one was not. Big old girl blowing a big old pink bubble. More 100 heads. This one I remember feeling very bogged down and like I was focusing too much time on the 100 heads, so I ended up just scribbling with pen and seeing where the scribbles took me and just kind of defined the shapes that I saw. I don't think I would ever intend to draw a singing lion man on purpose, so that could have only been by accident. This one I had a lot of fun doing. I did a video on that too if you want to see that. So this one I did more pen drawings, and then these were like scribble drawings. I actually really like her. She's one of my favorites. And then I went in with colorless blender to just give some of them some interest so that they weren't all like scribbles. I forgot about this one. I was watching my husband play God of War, and he started off not being the man from God of War, and then I kind of turned him into that. So that's why it doesn't really look like him. I wasn't trying to make it look like him at the very beginning. His nose is tiny. But this one was kind of fun because I used a blue pen, but then when I used the colorless blender, it super lightened up the blue. And then this one, I drew a scribble and then just kept on going with it. This one I was practicing anatomy, and then I came back to that was the only thing that I drew on this page initially, and then every time that I wanted to practice something, I would come back to this page and just kind of work in the empty spaces. This one was trying to apply the anatomy that I learned. I started to feel a little bit more confident with how I drew this guy. So this one is the obligatory hand drawing, practicing drawing hands. I learned how to have patience with myself when I'm drawing hard things. So that one was fun. This one, the light is coming from underneath, and I thought that was cool. This one is my absolute favorite. Just walking hands. So here we have some more 100 heads. More 100 heads. This one took me forever because I wanted to do it really well, and I got burnt out, so I stopped doing 100 heads for a while. So this one was inspired by my kids. He's floating. He should be way far down, way further down. This one was fun. I imagine that they're like on a train. Maybe she's wondering why she looks a little sad. I don't know. This one I was practicing foxes. I love how this nose turned out. That's my absolute favorite thing on this whole page. This one was a lot of fun. So alcohol marker bled through to the other side, and like I turned this eye bleed through to the eye of this little creature gremlin, and he's holding the nose from the other side, and it's like dripping goop. And then these eyes are from this page, these cat eyes, and he's a snake. And then the bleed through of the cat from the other side is trying to reach up and play with the tail. These are my favorite kinds of drawings, is just playing with the things that you have that are left over, turning it into something else. Oh, there's a fly right there. That's kind of funny. And also his hands are the wrong direction. I imagine that they're his hands. Totally wrong. I did this on a video, but then I also added some, I wanted to practice cats a little better. And I actually like what I didn't do on video better than what I did on video. Isn't that the way it always works? Here's my aardvark. I did this on a video. I don't really have much to say about it, but I really like them. I like how big they are. I was really proud of her curls, I remember. Especially this really tight one right here. I practiced using fixative on this because I didn't want the, you know, the reason why you use fixative is because you don't want it to spread. But it totally, like, I don't know if I used too much, or I feel like I only sprayed it once, but yeah, that's the only thing that I'm kind of bummed about. This one, just a whole bunch of gobbledygook. These ones were cool. I drew these girls from Pinterest. I think all of these are Pinterest pictures that I drew, but I wanted to see like what her favorite drink might be. So I drew like a boba tea behind her. And then I pictured that her favorite food is an avocado. She's all about avocados. And then this one reminded me of the Quiznos subs commercial from way back in the day. I don't know if you know that. So this spread is one of my favorite spreads of the whole book. I drew one person at a time. So I started off drawing this guy, and then I kind of left it all blank, didn't know where to go from there. And then I drew her. And then the fact that they're kind of like flirting with each other, I drew her as like shocked. And it just made sense to add like, they're in a school setting, so I drew her within like the doorway. And then this kid is talking to a teacher, and then this is kind of what my high school courtyard looked like, so that's kind of fun. I kind of would like to color this up someday, but I also kind of like how it's just pencil and just very raw. I drew her first, and then I wanted to figure out what her personality might be. And I did this one on a YouTube video. I was having a really hard day and I wanted to draw that, and then I wanted to draw her to try to stay consistent, to see if I could get like her to still look like her but in a different position. And then this is what I imagine her foot will look like close up. I like her socks. This one was my first testing of Posca pens. I was really disappointed with how hard it was to use. So I just kind of scribbled everywhere else. And because the next page has a lot of alcohol marker and I wanted to hide that a little bit, so I just kind of scribbled over it to get the attention off of the alcohol marker. And then some little foxes right there. So this one is full alcohol marker with a little bit of like white Posca marker to outline some of them. I really like how I did the robot. The robot's my absolute favorite part of this. I did this on a YouTube video. Can you tell? I labeled these first to make sure that I remembered which one was on a YouTube video. Some more robots, an armless running chick with no face. And then what would she look like from the front? And I feel like that constantly does not compute. This, a kid running, trying to catch a Frisbee. So after my disappointment with how hard the Posca pens were to use, I ordered Ohuhu paint markers, and this was me testing them out. And then I ordered Arrtx paint markers to try to test those versus the Ohuhu ones. And then just some sketches of profiles versus their front version. I was trying to get them to match. This is one of my favorites. I love this dog. I drew him first, and then I wanted to see what he would look like as a dog. So that's what this is for. And this guy has dumbbells in the back and bones. This one I drew with some more paint pens. I love this tree. Just very twisty. I like how when you fold it, it kind of looks like she's like smelling the rose or the flower. I drew some of this for a YouTube video or for a YouTube short, I think, but this one was inspired by my husband. This is him, kind of. And then this is like a kid version of him with a big beard, and he loves like lights and lanterns and flashlights and stuff. This is funny. I did not plan that. Where it looks like he's lighting up his crotch. That was totally unplanned. I don't mean anything by it. And then this little dude walking on his arm. Really wanted to practice using colored pencils, and this was, I think I used Col-Erase for this. And now, knowing what I know now, why did I have to say it like that? I wouldn't have used Col-Erase. I would have used a better color vibrant colored pencil, but it is what it is. I really like him still. Practicing some tigers. And then I got back into the 100 heads, so I started back at 68. I realized, oh my goodness, I still have so much more to go. And then Easter, this was an Easter spread. More 100 heads. This one was cool. I used Col-Erase, a blue Col-Erase pencil for this, and then I used the colorless blender, the alcohol marker, to get the watercolory effect. I thought that was so cool. I wanted to go back just to pencil for this one, and then I outlined it in red just to get some kind of something different. This was red pen with alcohol marker, colorless blender. And I was almost done with 100 heads. I wanted to try to do my best for this one. So this one was colored pencil. This one was watercolored pencil, another watercolor pencil, and then alcohol marker. And then I used paint markers for the last ones. I think I actually ended up doing 101 because I think I counted one of them twice, if I recall. I was finally finished with the 100 heads, and I felt like I wanted to not be so technical with things anymore. So I wanted to go back to like a simple art form, and to me that was Fallout. I love this so much. Fallout was like my first adult, I don't know that I would necessarily call it an adult game. It was my first game that I fell in love with as an adult. It wasn't like Zelda or Mario, you know? This was just mixed media, so I did watercolor, paint markers, alcohol marker, alcohol marker, alcohol marker, alcohol. Most of this is alcohol marker. This is paint marker too. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. This one I was testing out colored pencil versus actual watercolor colored pencils and seeing if I could get like similar effects with them. Oh, this is interesting. I haven't noticed that before. Over time, this has gotten kind of splotchy. So this one was actual watercolor pencils, and this one was colored pencil using the colorless blender on top. This one was just some, I was trying to practice poses again. I was unhappy with how this guy turned out. So on the other side, I used his bleed through to draw a different fella. And I like, looking back, I don't really mind either of them. They look so different, but I really liked the profiles, this profile. This one was some more Fallout art. Some of the best robots. This one was me practicing profiles because I really liked how the last page turned out. So these ones are not smiling, and then these ones are smiling. And it's funny because all the guys look pretty similar. This was practicing cats, cat study. So I drew the pencil, the regular graphite pencils, cats from references, and then I went back and added in some of my own cats, filling in the blanks. That's supposed to be my husband, and this is so cheesy, but I wanted to capture like what my husband makes me feel. You know, he makes me feel better. That's super cheesy, but I feel like that's what art is just to be cheesy. Also, I had just gotten an Arrtx alcohol marker set, and it was very, very pastel colors, and they're so pastel, I almost can't even use them because you can barely see it. Anyway, that's supposed to be a self-portrait, and I don't like it. So I did a bunch of stuff to it. This one was cool. Inspired by my daughter, but doesn't look like her, kind of on purpose. I really like this eye. That eye looks like my daughter's. This one I think I did both of these on a YouTube video. This was Fallout art. The Last of Us. This was The Last of Us art. And then this was, oh man, I wasn't expecting this. And this was my dog Molly after she got diagnosed with lymphoma. So I knew that she didn't have a lot of time left, so I just kind of drew her as good as I could. And she loved playing with a glowing rubber ball. We took her swimming for the last time, and she was so happy afterwards. These are my boys. They were just pushing each other on my husband's office chair. That's my daughter, and this is more of Molly. And then the last page. This was all, I got a green pen, and I was really excited to use it, so I just kind of drew like circle creatures. First one is done. It's always fun to see like how thick it gets from the top compared to like this one that's super thin still. Anyway, so yeah, this one's done. This one is halfway done. It's always fun to go back over old sketchbooks and see where you grew and what you used to struggle with, and seeing how it's maybe not a struggle anymore it's always really exciting. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me while we went over sketchbook number 1, and I will see you next time. Bye.